In Venezuela, voting drill is underway ahead of the upcoming presidential elections, and the National Electoral Council has officially extended voting hours until 7 o'clock at night. The Palestinian authorities, alongside the international community, condemned Israel's expansionist policies and its recent decision to recognize 5 new settlements in the occupied West Bank. And in China, heavy rainfall and subsequent flooding in Guizhou province submerged homes underwater, trapped residents, and blocked roads and highways. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from TeleSur Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Venezuela, the National Electoral Council has officially extended voting hours until 7 o'clock at night. A total of 1,174 voting centers nationwide opened their doors at 8 o'clock in the morning local time to begin the day of familiarization and refreshment with the voting system. The persons registered in the electoral registry will be able to participate in any authorized polling place, with the only requirement to vote being the presentation of their identity card. In this regard, the President of the National Electoral Council stated that this is a demonstration to the world of the democratic strength of the country.
And today we are giving the world the opportunity to realize that it is a transparent electoral system where everyone can come and do their simulation to familiarize themselves with each one of the machines in the place where it corresponds in any municipality in any state.
In this order, the President of the National Electoral Council, Elvis Amoroso, reaffirmed the transparency of the Venezuelan electoral system.
On June 30, the day on which the simulation election is being carried out throughout the country, with 100% of all the centers authorized for this exercise, that once again ratifies the efficiency of the Venezuelan electoral system as this fundamental tool for the people to practice, to test the exercise of voting, and also to become familiar with the electoral card. For us, it has been a great joy to see today all the people of Venezuela in the polling centers, how they have turned out massively. We congratulate our people who have already participated and those who are still at home to please come forward. Today, the 1x10x7 is also deployed, ensuring the participation of grandmothers and grandfathers, of people with disabilities, but also accompanying with joy on Sunday, July 30, as a training for July 28, where our hope is ratified in our candidate president, Nicolás Maduro. We can only tell the people of Venezuela to go to their electoral center to practice, to exercise with joy and happiness for this July 28th.
The Foreign Minister of Venezuela, Iván Gil, emphasized that the country has an electoral system with the highest security in the world.
This simulation was organized by the electoral power of Venezuela, its National Electoral Council. And once again we have been able to verify the robustness and the guarantee that the Venezuelan electoral system gives. Without a doubt we can tell the world that today Venezuela has an electoral system of greater perfection, a secure system, a friendly system, an automated, friendly electoral system, an armored electoral system.
Presidential candidate Antonio Eka recalled on the people to take part in the election drill.
Venezuelans have to go to our queues to familiarize ourselves with the voting process, which is the most important thing. Always before taking an exam we have to practice. So I recommend that you come and practice, study, see the process, get familiar with the machines so that you do not get confused. That is the good thing about this process.
The candidate for the presidency of Venezuela of the Arepa Party, Daniel Ceballos, urged citizens to participate in the simulation to familiarize themselves with the process.
It is a very simple process, and I invite all Venezuelans to attend the simulation, because this is a mechanism we have to practice voting, to know the ballot, to know the electoral offer, what is on the ballot, how the vote is developed and the different steps that are inside the voting table.
y los distintos pasos que hay dentro de la...
In Venezuela, candidate Benjamin Rauseo of the Conde party invited the people to participate in the elections this July 28th.
This exercise is very important, because from now on it must be clear that the president, who will come out of these elections, will govern for all Venezuelans on that day. The day after the elections, on the 29th, a new Venezuela will be born, a new Venezuela that wants to meet again. I invite you all to participate. It is very important that you participate so that we can turn the page, participate in these upcoming elections, because if you do not participate, someone else will decide for you. We are very happy and very satisfied with the way the system that they have planned has worked.
Precisely, Venezuelan citizens participating in the simulation election from voting centers in Caracas expressed their considerations about the organization and meaning of this day.
People have been lining up to vote since 5 in the morning. Very good the opening of the polling stations as well.
This process is for people to know how to vote. We have a great experience since Chavez about how to vote and how you will vote for. All polling stations in Caracas are crowded like this, so that people learn to vote to defend themselves, and do not fall into deception of the Fourth Republic.
In Venezuela, the National Electoral Council published the list of polling centers authorized for the Sunday, June 30th elections security drill, with 1,174 active polling centers throughout the country. The simulation will be carried out to familiarize the Venezuelan people with the presidential elections of July 28th. The electoral body indicated that 97 polling centers will be active in the state of Miranda for this election drill, while the state of Zulia will have a total of 94 active centers. It is important to highlight that the capital district will have a total of 94 authorized voting centers. On the other hand, the northeastern state of Anzoátegui will have 73 centers authorized for this process. Added to the mentioned, in the western state of Táchira, 70 spaces are ready for this simulation. Likewise, the of Bolívar will participate in this exercise with 44 electoral centers, while the state of Barinas will have 38 electoral centers set up. And lastly, in Nueva Esparta, around 29 centers will be active. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSur English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back, and also we welcome once more our correspondent Gladys Quesada for more information about the electoral drill. Hi Gladys, can you hear me?
Yes, Ale, I can hear you, and thank you for this contact and the time here in TeleSur English and to our audience from the south. Yes, the afternoon hours are moving on. The electoral day is also going to an end or towards a closure, because as we have been saying, the closing time was scheduled for 4 p.m. But I have to tell you that after the announce of the National Electoral Council that the voting will be extended until 7 p.m. or the 19 hours, the people have still been here, coming on and been approaching to this center, this voting center here in Caracas. My cameraman, very politely, I'm going to ask him to show you the lines that have still going on for the afternoon hours. And as you can see, there is rain. It is raining. It is downpouring in Caracas. It has been non-stop since an hour ago. And people, however, still coming and still lining up for voting in this electoral drill. People of all the ages, and mostly people that are coming in here with their families and their little ones, so they can exercise the right to vote. We have been seeing this example once over and over again every time, because in this case people are still coming here, joining the voting, and as you can see, the rain is non-stop. It is not that strong right now, but it has been constant in the afternoon. Also, we was seeing other examples all over the country because this voting drill, this exercise, is being held in all regions Venezuela, and the National Electoral Council was issuing other information. The rectors of the National Electoral Council was saying that the voting machines have been proving their efficacy. However, they announced that from July the 4th, they will be implementing more voting machines and trying to buy and put in place more voting machines because of what they have seen today, because of the large turnout and the large presence of the people that are taking place here in this voting drill. In other informations, I have to tell you, the National Electoral Council was issuing a bulletin by midday, and they were saying that over 60% of people already voted in this electoral essay, this drill, but as you saw, the rain has been nothing for the people that wants to come here, so the turnout promises to be larger. It seems to be larger than expected in this electoral exercise here in Venezuela. Also, and moreover, other authorities have been issuing their opinions, and that is the case of the Vice President of Venezuela, TeleSur Rodriguez. She was saying and stressing that this is a voting for peace, that this is a drill for peace to ensure the rights of Venezuelans and to ensure the transparency and the efficacy of the voting on July 28th. And afterwards, the President of the National Assembly and also the President of the command, the campaign command of the candidate Nicolás Maduro Moros. In this case, I'm referring to Jorge Rodriguez. He was stressing that this is one of the many ways that Venezuela has to prove that institutionality, that democracy is intact in Venezuela and is strong and going stronger by the time with every one of the processes. Let's remember and let's recall that Venezuela has been held in these elections and these exercises, these drills, since 1999 with the constitution that was put in place by the proposition of Rafael Chávez Frías, the commander of the revolution. And afterwards, in the 25 years of revolution, there has been 30 electoral processes. And we are not even counting the electoral drills. Because every time there is a referendum, there is a consultation, or there is a new electoral exercise to choose a new president, there is one exercise like this one that is conducted in Venezuela. So we are talking about 30 official processes and about 60 processes in total if we count the drills and if we count every one of the essays in the simulations as we have been saying. So I was telling you, behind me there is a line. In the other side of this room there is another line. People is taking shelter from the rain while they are waiting to go in and exercise the right to vote. So yes, this is a large turnout, this is a high participation rate, and as the authorities have been stressing, it is important to tell that Venezuelans have not only the right to vote, but also they have this desire to participate. They have this will to be active in their political life in Venezuela, and this is the paramount and the most precise way to do so. So that's for now, moreover, the information. Ale, if you want to ask me anything, I'm with you.
I think you gave us a full advance of everything that is going on in Caracas at this moment and in Venezuela in general. Thank you very much, Gladys. We'll keep in touch with further issues.
Thanks to you, Ali. I will be here reporting to you.
Moving on to other informations, in Uruguay, the presidential primary elections are being held this Sunday to define the candidates of each party for the October 27 elections. For this day, around 2.7 million people have been summoned to elect the presidential candidates among 29 pre-candidates of the 18 parties registered for these internal elections. The candidates who are elected will face the October 27th election, in which the 30 seats of the Senate and the 99 seats of the House of Representatives will also be renewed. According to the Electoral Court, in case no presidential candidate exceeds 50% of the votes on that day, a second round will be held on November 24th.
There are different models, different country projects. Without infringing the rules of the electoral ban, it is clear to everyone that we consider that the current model of this government, which also expresses some very concentrated social sectors of the economy, is a model that generates inequality. Power is a model that generates inequality. We believe that we have to work to revert that. And well, that will be at stake in October.
On Sunday, Palestinian authorities, governments in the region and the regional blocs condemned Israel's expansionist policies and its recent decision to recognize 5 new settlements in the occupied West Bank. This way, they rejected the plan announced by Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich to recognize new settlements and build thousands of homes in the so-called West Bank. In this regard, Egypt, Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan and Saudi Arabia, in addition to the European Union, the Arab League and the Gulf Cooperation Council, condemned these expansionist actions in violation of international law. More than 250,000 Jewish settlers live in occupied East Jerusalem and another 500,000 in the rest of the occupied West Bank. Israeli occupation forces have detained over 9,450 Palestinians since the onset of their offensive against the Gaza Strip on October 7, 2023. The Palestinian Ministry of Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs reported that the figure includes Palestinians who were arrested in their homes and at checkpoints of the Israeli genocidal force. On a communique, the ministry detailed that the Tel Aviv regime have incarcerated at least 20 people in the last 2 days in several provinces of the West Bank. The Israeli occupation continues its campaign of arrest through raids, harassment, violence and threats against the detainees and their families, along with widespread acts of genocide and destruction of homes. We have a final short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience. You can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. On Sunday, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban announced the creation of a new European Union Parliament alliance called Patriots for Europe, which counts on the support of 2 overseas parties but needs another 4 to be recognized. Herbert Kickl, leading Austria's far-right party, and former Prime Minister Andrzej Babis, head of the Czech centrist ANO group, signed along with Orban a patriotic manifesto. The 3 authorities promised to boost peace, security and development to counter war and stagnation, bolstered by the Brussels elite. Hungarian Prime Minister called on other overseas parties to join the initiative to be recognized the alliance on Parliament. The Prime Minister shared his view on this issue.
A new era begins here. First, perhaps decisive moment of this new era is the creation of a new European political faction that will change European politics.
In Italy, several northern regions are reported to be affected this weekend due to heavy rains. The civil protection authorities reported that some localities in Valle della Costa are isolated due to the overflowing of nearby rivers and landslides. The fire department indicated that they carried out 80 rescue operations, evacuating dozens of people in the Piedmont region. In Locana, Orco Valley, some 37 people were moved from a restaurant cut off by a landslide, while in the town of Valgrande, 50 people were evacuated from a condominium following an avalanche of earth and debris. In China, heavy rainfall and subsequent flooding in Guizhou province submerged homes underwater, trapped residents and blocked roads and highways. The government on Saturday afternoon raised the flood emergency response in the southwestern part of the country to level 2 after the water level of the Wangyang River rose to 0.5 meters above the warning line. Rescue efforts and evacuation of residents as well as the search for possible missing people began in several counties. Local authorities sent workers and machinery to clear the roads that were blocked by mud, rocks and trees. On Saturday, 2 teams advanced to the next round of the UEFA Euro 2024, while the round of 16 continues in search of new qualifiers. In this sense, in the first matches of the round of 16, the Swiss team defeated Italy as also Germany beat Denmark. Switzerland's victory consolidates its position as a strong contender for the next stage of the competition as Italy disappoints its lifetime success in this type of tournament. On the other hand, the host team victory shows that according to the experts, the Germans are one of the teams that should advance in the final. In this regard, England and Slovakia will meet on Sunday, while Spain will face Georgia as part of the second day of the round of 16.
Yeah, I think important is we wanted to go to the next round, and you know, because it's like these games, if you lose, you're out. It's about results, but our display, we wanted to take our fans with us, and we did it from the first minute. So yeah, and you can see as a team, everybody respects his job. I think this is the most important thing, and everyone fights for each other, and and that's why for us it's important to do it as a team and not an individual.
We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok. For TeleSur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.
El mundo